Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Nedarim, page 54, which discusses a situation where a person, right before letting blood, before giving a blood donation, they made a vow. And they said, I do not want to eat meat. And because he said specifically that, we say he is allowed to have fish, but he's not allowed to have chicken. And the question is, these foods seem to be quite interchangeable. In fact, if you would ask someone, could you go to the supermarket and get me some meat? So if, let's say, there wasn't any meat, he may come back and say, I'm sorry, there's no meat, but there was chicken, there was fish. The fact that he said that perhaps is an indication that that also should be under the same category as meat. So in this, the Talmud says that there's no way he would have included in his mind fish, because again, this is talking a situation where a person is letting blood. And when a person does so, a person has to be very careful about the foods that are eaten afterwards. When a person gives out blood, there is a loss of iron that needs to be replenished. And one of the best ways to be able to replenish that is with having meat. However, it said the worst things that a person can have after letting blood is alcohol, as well as things which are salty. And therefore, it makes sense why the Talmud here tells us that a person should not have fish. It is not something which is healthy. In fact, it's detrimental for a person who just gave blood. Again, this is not just in the times of the Talmud. This is recommendations to this very day, that a person should have iron-rich foods, but not things that are salty. And in fact, the Talmud here says, not only should they not have that, someone who is a hikaz dam, they shouldn't have, in addition to fish, it says also, v'lo basar maliach, not salted meat. So again, it shows clearly that there is an issue of having salt when a person has this time of letting out blood. Also, the Talmud mentions if a person has issues with their eyes, if they're in tremendous amount of pain, that's also something in which at least then eating fish, which again could have to do with salt, which perhaps is not something which is good at that time. The person may have eye aches and headaches, and which could be related to dehydration, in which salt could take away from that. So therefore it says that fish is actually bad for the eyes. So the Talmud here tells us that when it comes to our physical health, as I have often said, there is a direct correlation to us being healthy and what we eat and what we choose not to eat. And especially when a person goes through various procedures, such as, again, letting out blood, you have to be extra careful to make sure, because you're at a weaker state, that you're going to be eating properly and not eating the wrong foods. But also the issues of having different illnesses or sicknesses or pain, you have to be extra sensitive and careful, because the food that we eat could have a direct impact for our health and hopefully for our quick recovery.